Oh yeah, what's going on? I forgot Will's not here. What's going on? The Gold Boys live, presented by Pickett Sports and the Sleeper Picks. We have Josh, Brad, and me, Brian. How you guys doing?
Dude, I saw it happening and just, like, let it happen. It's fine.
It was like a car crash. I forgot Will wasn't on. I was like, oh yeah, this is my
I was
my
like, "I'm just gonna let
intro.
it happen."
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, chilling. I'm happy for you yesterday. I bet the over, which was nice. Pretty pissed at myself for betting the Dodgers, but I just felt like I had to bet the Dodgers in that situation. I don't know why I didn't just take Lance Lynn to get absolutely barreled. Oh man, kind of
That was the
frustrating.
safer bet. I was very happy with yesterday because Will hit us all up. I think you guys
Yeah,
might
I
have been
did.
busy, but he hit us up, and I was, like, right on it, and he was like, "Yo, they just said Joe Ryan's going once through the order max in that Twins game."
Yeah,
And so he sent a bet that he was playing that was under 3.5 Ks for Joe Ryan at plus money on DraftKings, knowing that he had to strike out 4 out of 9 maximum batters that he was facing. So Will hit it with a bunch, and I also hit it with a bunch, just like, okay, I'm good. I trust you that much, Will. Especially when I saw the amount that he was putting on on it for himself. I was like, good. All right, cool. I'm with it. So ended up really nice.
yeah. I did see that. I was kind of in a kind of busy watching the
Yeah.
Phillies game. I missed out on it, but I did see that was a really nice play. I'm surprised they left it open for as long as they did, which is kind of funny because I got it a little bit later, but they had it up for I think almost a whole inning and a half.
Yeah.
That live line.
Seriously. It was crazy.
Yeah, I
But
almost
we got
got
a
really mad
plus.
at Brad. I almost got really mad at Brad yesterday because he was talking about Bryce Elder and it's like, how the hell is this guy going to go over 3.5 strikeouts, this and that? And it was in my head that I took his live under 4.5 at plus 115 after the first inning when he struck out two batters, and he immediately struck out the next batter in the next inning to get the three, and I was filled with rage at Brad for no reason, and then I didn't even realize until after the game he stayed under. It was one of those things where I
Yeah.
logged, I logged into my DraftKings account and I was like, "Oh, I have more money than I thought I did." And I was like, "Oh, right, I guess he got shelled before he got that fifth strikeout, so it all worked
Yeah.
out."
It was pretty awesome.
Everything about that, like, so I was going through the same shit, like, with my friends, and I'm just like, why is he pitching so well? What the hell is happening? And my boy goes, must be the extra rest. And I was like, shut the hell up. Like, I have real money on his unders.
People in the
And yet,
Twitch chat are asking, Brad, did you bet? Did you
yeah, I
bet on Trey
did.
Turner home run?
Hell yeah, I bet Trey Turner home run.
Nice.
I'm in an awkward spot where there was 6 home runs yesterday, and I was so convinced Kyle Schwarber would do one, so I used a free bet on it, and I feel like an idiot. But now it's like, do I just bet it again? Do I just swallow my pride and let it go, or what do I do? Because 6 home runs and not getting one from Schwarber was annoying in a way.
I
Yeah.
I think you have to.
I think I have to, right? I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
I I didn't realize this. I've had my Caesars account for so long. I didn't even realize you had the same thing like you do with DraftKings, where you acquire points or credit or whatever. So it's kind of like free credit or like bets that you acquire throughout like just having your account. So I had like 200 some dollars worth of these credits I didn't even know I had over the last like 2 or 3 years. So I've just been using them for fun stuff like that, like home runs or fun touchdown scorer bets. So I might just put some more on college Schwarber and go down this hill.
Do it. I'm not gonna talk
Do
you
it.
out
Yeah,
of it.
I think you have to.
I think I have to. Yeah. So going into tonight's
What
games,
are you
do
gonna
you
be
guys
more
have
mad about, if you bet it and he
a?
doesn't get it, or if you
No, that's
don't bet
true.
it
But
and he
the,
does
the,
get it?
the good thing is that about being such a diehard Phillies fans, if he does hit one, I feel like my joy for the fact that they scored will help the blow of as a better dilemma.
Understood.
If that makes sense. Do you guys have any preference to go over Thursday Night Football or NLDS first? Do we have two big games today? Do you
Let's
guys
kick
have a
it on
preference?
baseball.
Keep it up,
Yeah,
like
go
stick
for it.
with
Yeah, you're
baseball.
already on it. You're already
Yeah,
on
no,
it.
I love it. I love it. I mean, the
Yeah.
Phillies looked great yesterday. I mean, I'll say this as a Phillies fan that's really, happy about the game. But outside of 2 innings, the Phillies really have looked so good in this series that it's kind of upsetting that they let that game two slip away. But today they are what I think they're plus 135 on the money line,
Yep. Yeah, the
and
best
it's
price.
it's it's a game one rematch of Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. I'm staying away from sides here. I have too much already invested with because I had the Phillies in the series and I also have them in my heart. So do you guys lean any sides or totals or anything in this game?
I lean Strider. I mean, I just don't see him going out there and getting beat twice, but like at minus 154, hell no, dude. The
Hell
way
no.
I've just been like on every side, I think I've lost every single side. I've just been donating money in these playoffs. I've been doing okay with props, so like that's fine. But like sides have been terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you like the Strider and the Braves. If you've been that bad, that makes me feel a little.
He wasn't that bad last time. Obviously, we know he
No,
got
no,
shelled.
No, he wasn't.
He got
no.
shelled last year. So overall, it's not like he has amazing playoff numbers. It depends, yeah, how you kind of think how they're gonna deal with him facing him again like this. I mean, it's just this many times in such a short amount of time. It feels like you either like get to know him better at this point than you ever did, or you're still sort of just befuddled by
Yeah.
him and he intimidates you on the mound. He had 8 strikeouts in 7 innings, still pretty good there.
What is
Maybe not
what
for
is what is
him,
his
but
strikeout line? Is it 7.5
I
again?
thought it was 8, but
It's
maybe
8.5.
yeah,
Ew,
it's 8 and a half.
that
Yeah,
is gross.
yeah.
Honestly, I think the juice is -150. I see on FanDuel. I
On the
almost don't
under,
even hate. I almost don't even hate laying
taking
that.
on. Yeah.
Even for a guy like him, you almost just,
He
I
has
mean,
you're in an elimination game. It's a short leash.
yeah, it's a really
I
short.
think
Honestly, don't make me play that.
no, I'm on that train of thought. Like my game theory for this whole thing is like Strider is gettable. Like I think there is the likelihood that he's given up 3 runs in the first 4 innings or so, let's say, and I don't know that he's going to continue to go deep into games. Like he pitched 7 in the last
Yeah,
one because he only gave up the 1 home run, but if the ball starts flying out of the park again like it did last night for the Phillies,
yeah.
then he's going to
Would
have a
you
short leash.
would you take Phillies plus a half for the first 5 or not
I'm just playing the money line.
Yeah,
at
I'm
plus
actually surprised.
135?
Yeah.
It's actually kind of crazy. I know you were never supposed to take the +1.5s in baseball. That's like one of those rules you just don't do. You just take the money line. But I'm surprised. I mean, I saw something like -126 for the +1.5, which is interesting. I think I don't know if I want to bet either side, but the 8.5 total almost seems interesting as an over when you talk about Josh saying that you get a little bit more familiar with the pitcher. So just like the Phillies get to see Strider again, the Braves get to see Suarez again.
Hard.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised
I
if
don't
it's
wanna
more of one
overblow
of those.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
I
wanna
know. I'm
overblow
just
it because they
saying.
faced each other so much during the season, right? He probably pitched them, like, twice at least, this season, so, like, you don't wanna go too deep into, like, well, how familiar are they? I mean, Strider, and this lineup faced him last year, and this year it's the same people basically, so I think Suarez in the playoffs is a horse, man. Like I buy into that.
Yeah, yeah,
I do. I like Ranger Suarez a lot. I mean, I just love a big fat lefty pitcher, man, and
yeah,
who throws some nasty junk, but at least he can get some heat in there as well. Like the .98 ERA with 17 strikeouts in his
yeah. It's
last 2 playoffs. It's pretty nasty, man. Like I think you start to buy into that stuff. Like I know it seems unbelievable what Mad Bum was doing, but like I was watching that closely, and every time you think he's finally going to falter, it's like no, this is what you're getting. So that's kind of how I'm playing this game in general. I don't like if you want to take some home runs or some stuff. Like I do think Strider gives up a home run at least while he's out there. Just is he going to give up more than that or not is really the case because he's like either going to strike you out, you're going to induce a weak
yeah,
hit, or you're going yard. So
yeah. No, I agree.
that's how I'm playing
It's
this
so
game.
it's so tough for me. Like when I look at this, like I think that I don't have enough experience handicapping baseball to genuinely do well in the postseason.
Well, I will say too, it's one of those things where I saw someone in the chat also say that the whole world's on Philly, so this, that, and the other. I do think it kind of I don't know. I guess if you look on Twitter, it looks that way too. But I feel like if anything, I think a lot of people lean towards the team in elimination, kind of like the Dodgers yesterday. People like to lean on the team that has to win, where it's not always the case. Sometimes the team that has to win doesn't win. I might get fired if I bring this up, but I'm going to bring up Action Network splits, so I'm sorry for Pickett Sports for
Wow,
bringing that up, but
I just Googled it and wasn't gonna say it, but that's
yeah,
so
it's
funny.
it's a 54-46, right? When I
Yeah,
checked, it's
yeah,
it's
I'm
pretty
looking at it.
even the splits. I think
Yeah.
54% on Philly, 46% on Braves, so it's a pretty even split on who is on
And
who.
the
So
bet percentage, the percentage of money is on the Bravos.
yeah, I did want to bring it
It's
up, but
it's
also
closer. It's like 50, it's like more 50-50,
yeah,
but because the percentage of bets is so much more on the Phillies right now, it's at least a little bit more. Like that
yeah.
means with that much money coming in on the Braves, it's a bit more probably sharper money.
Not saying you should bet based off percentage anyway. I just wanted to bring it up that it is a pretty even split on who's
Yeah,
betting who tonight. So I
totally.
think I think sometimes Twitter and other things too, you see so many people that love, you see all these Phillies memes or Bryce Harper pictures and that. I don't think it really translates to people being, betting on the Phillies or being quote unquote on the Phillies.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat also said there's elimination game bias, like who says desperation doesn't help you in baseball. Yeah, I agree. I think it's also Will said it yesterday. It's perfect. That's what they brought up here. Will mentioned it. Desperation is a factor, but it's not like you can, like in baseball or basketball, you can't necessarily like run harder or, play better just because you have to win. Baseball is a very intricate game, so it becomes a little bit more difficult there.
Yep.
I think is Ranger Suarez 3.5 strikeouts again? I think I saw that. That's an interesting one.
Let's see. He
Yeah,
is
3.5
for
plus
money.
125. That's one where he did it last game, even though with a short leash, but we all know his leash is going to be short. I don't know if they're going to.
How short?
His outs are 11.5. He went
I know.
11 outs. He went 11 outs last game.
Mm.
It's just tough because
he had pitched recently in the regular season though. At the end,
yeah, I think it's also one of those things where I don't believe that Topper is going to give him like this ultra short leash, but I also wonder how they're going to handle him when he has to go through the second time through the order in terms of if he does struggle a little bit. It's not an elimination game, but this team definitely would want him out, or not want him out, but would want to make sure that if there's any trouble that they get, the best scenario out there with fresh pitching and kind of stagger some people to get the Braves not super comfortable with who they're seeing.
When's the next game if they play if the Braves win?
It goes Saturday, I believe.
Saturday, okay.
Yeah,
and it'd be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which
and it'd be Max Green pitching probably.
It'd probably Fried and Wheeler again, or like that's likely what it'd be. But Wheeler would be on shorter rest. So with Fried, but it's the playoffs. I feel like you get a little bit more, of that quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Because what would that be? Monday to Saturday? Yeah, they likely both still be good to go.
Who would it be? Sanchez that would come in if they had to pull Suarez early?
I would imagine they've only used the same 3 arms this run, so I would imagine they would try to piggyback them in that regard.
Yeah, the outs recorded at 11.5 is interesting. It's juiced to the over a bit, but definitely really interesting. FanDuel doesn't even have Suarez strikeouts up.
Yeah, like I said, the strikeouts is tempting because even if he goes a little bit, he can still strike out some people. But it is a tough one.
What did you say he got in his first start?
How many Ks?
Yeah,
4 in 3.2.
He had 4 in 3.2 innings.
Really Strider over 1.5 earned runs sounds like free money.
What's the juice on that? I don't
minus 140.
So I'm gonna check this as well because I talked about on the show yesterday. I did bet the Phillies over 2.5 in the first 5 yesterday. I always find it interesting when the first 5 line is like way better odds than the earned run odds because a guy like Elder yesterday was definitely not going to go a full 5, and you could get plus money for the first 5 runs while his earned runs was like minus 120. It didn't make much sense. So minus 135 for that, and then the first 5 would be what? Let me see. First 5 for the Phillies. Oh, they don't even have it. I don't think. Oh, never mind. DraftKings just freaked me out with their how they have things listed. So the first 5 for the Phillies is minus 130. So at that point, I would take the earned runs because you get the extra juice of if he gets a dinger allowed or something in the 6th, because he's a guy that can go deeper.
Yeah. Do you guys have any batting stuff for this? I know people love batting stuff, and we always talk pitchers.
I honestly, I saw a lot of people on Castellanos yesterday with his history against Elder, and it made me a little bit upset that I didn't have any action on it. I really wanted to. I put $10 on his home run only because there was a guy on Twitter that I had to give him a shout out. He always tweets me out randomly throughout the season. Just at Brian versus the Books, Castellanos home run today with a question mark.
So I saw that.
Whenever he does it, I just throw $10 on it. His name's Yo Adrian. Hilarious guy, but it's just so funny that it's like the 6th or 7th time. I think the record's like 4-3. And you're talking plus 600 home runs. I mean, every time he does it, you gotta just honor that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, Castellanos too was like the one who after game 2 was like, dude, we're fine. Like he was like the poster boy for all the like quotes that and graphics that the Phillies social media team were putting out, where he's just like looking hard as fuck, being like, we played better with our backs against the wall. And then he comes out and cracks and like bats twice in an inning. It's like whatever, 4 RBI, 3 RBI.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun. I do think it's tough that with all of that being said, to kind of wrap things up,
Yeah.
is if you really like the Braves, it's just tough when you're laying like -150, -160. They clearly have the pitching advantage, but especially in these series, I mean, a lot of underdogs are winning. It's just like I said yesterday. If the Braves are priced better, maybe I'd even bet the Braves. But you're getting -160 juice, which is just so hard to lay. When if you watch these games, as unbiased as I can from a Phillies fan, you watch these games outside of those 2 innings in game 2 where they came back and came to life and
They've
scored
gone
those
there,
5 runs. It's been really just one-sided a lot of times besides those 2 innings out of the 27 played.
Yeah. So what you're not betting tonight, you said. Brad, do
I don't
you lean
yeah, I
in
don't have a
either way on a
side.
side?
I don't have any bets on
Yeah.
this. I probably just
I
gonna
know.
watch it and be excited.
I
Yeah.
agree with
I think
Josh in terms
I'm gonna
of
bet the
the
Phils,
plus
yeah.
130. I agree with you in terms of if you're gonna make a side bet, I think getting 1.3 juice is just
Yeah.
the better side if you're trying to lay one rather than
Yeah.
having to lay a unit over a unit and a half to win a unit back.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I don't think it's a must win. I mean, I don't think it's not a must win for Philly. I think
but it kind of feels like that. It kind of does feel.
it's like 55-45 in terms of who's got more pressure on them, though, in my opinion. Obviously, you know, at the end of the day, you can always just say the team who's about to lose has the most pressure. I just think the Phillies feel an almost similar amount of it, knowing that like I don't think they're scared to play in Atlanta. I think that the fact that they just watched a game get away from them in Atlanta will still be in their minds, even if they're
Yeah.
leading in a game 5. Right.
Oh
And I
yeah.
just don't think you want that on you at this
No.
point. Yeah, I'm gonna just take the Phils. I don't really have any other like player props, to be honest with you, for this one. So got a lot of them
Yeah.
for Thursday Night Football though.
Yeah. So before we get to Thursday Night Football, just quickly, first reactions. We did it for the other series. -148 for the Astros, plus 126 for the Rangers. That is the opening line for the ALCS. What's your immediate thoughts on that? I'm
Say
gonna
it
go
again.
Brad.
Oh,
I'm gonna go
Series
Brad
prices.
first because he looks like he's going through it
Se-
over there.
You said series prices, right?
I
Series
already
price
I already
minus 148 for the Astros, plus 126 for the Rangers.
already committed to keep rolling Astros over. I bet him last series gonna roll that over. I go play. My dog is all up in my face. Lay down. The heck?
So you
Yelling at
already
me.
did you already roll over? Are you
Not
already?
yet. I this morning I woke up and I was so torn just because like it just feels like the Rangers are hitting so well, and I don't know if
So are the
we're not gonna
Astros.
see we're not, yeah, the Astros are, but we're not gonna see Javier go out there and pitch like that again. Like that was the gym of his career.
That was nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's interesting.
yeah.
It's plus 205 for it to go 7 too. I think that's also an interesting look because, but once again, we talk about all the time. The juice kind of sucks on that. Like 2-1 for it to go 7 is really. I feel like it should be a little bit juicier.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna roll it over. Like I commit to my plan, stick with it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Josh, are you looking at the
I've
Astros based on your comments?
No, I mean, for transparency, I have the Astros. I picked them to win the division. I picked that there was I forget what point in the season it was, but there was a moment in time where it was like plus money for them to win the division still, and it was I think it was 6-1 for them to win the AL. Took that, and then it was 9-1 for them to win the World Series. And so I took all of those. I feel so good about them with the path in front of them. I do think the Rangers are hitting well. It's great. I mean, I agree. Their pitchers have played above their pay grade. If you look at it, I still feel better about the Astros. I don't feel the need to lay any juice on the series price, but I'll be betting them in individual games, especially when the matchup's right. And yeah, their hitting is absolutely mother freaking terrifying right now from both sides of the plate, man. So like as good
Yeah.
as the Rangers are, as good as the freaking Braves are, like I'm just more scared of a lineup that I've seen do it in this situation as well, as
Yeah.
opposed to the Bravos, who seem to just be sort of like daddied a little bit by the Phils. This is one where I think the Rangers get daddied a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that's gonna be an interesting one. In the chat, people are also saying that what is it? People in the chat are saying that the Rangers will choke like they did in 11. So I do think the Astros are just a really good team, and it's going to be a fun series. And also in the chat we have people say Will lost a lot of money doing the
Yeah, we need to
basketball.
talk about that.
Will lost a lot of basketball saying, "Oh
We need
yeah,
to bring
2 series ago, at least 7." I wasn't saying this is going 7. My exact comment was, "I think 2-1 is a really bad price for it to go 7." I was not recommending
yeah,
betting
yeah,
this to
yeah.
go 7.
But
I
either
was
way,
actually
you
I was
you
actually
set up
saying,
Cinematic Drive to just say some amazing shit.
yeah, I
Because
Like,
we kept saying that to Will last year, the NBA Finals, and in I think he got one of those right though, because the Celtics series went
7.
7. Yeah, the Celtics series went 7, so he got that one right. But I think he took the Celtics in 7. Either way, he did keep being like, I think this goes 7, and like we were kind of scared of it. We'll bring up with him tomorrow. I do think like you said, like he said, or she, it's a little bit lazy to say like, oh, this goes 7 because it's evenly matched. I think though, like, don't underestimate the Rangers' ability to like win at least 2 games in this series. 6 feels a little bit more right, but 5, I'm confident enough in the Astros to keep hitting the ball till they are done this season that if 5 is worth it. What's them in 5? Do we have that up? I'm not
I can pull
seeing
it
much
back up.
for it. I'm just seeing
Um,
game lines.
yeah, well, you should probably do your research more.
I should. You're
Fi
right.
for the series just to go 5 is plus 270.
Okay, thank you. So series
Yeah.
correct score for the Stros 4-1 is plus 600. Not bad. I mean, apparently the books agree with what I was saying. It's plus 400 for it to go 6 with the Astros winning, which is the
Yeah.
shortest price.
Yeah, so I think that's interesting. We can talk more into that tomorrow
All
because
right.
that game
I
will be
like
Sunday.
I like that
Yeah.
series a lot though.
Yeah,
I'm always so
so
bad at that, like betting what the series goes to. I feel like I
I
lose every.
think I think we talked about it before, but it's even this
I nailed it
for the
last week.
series to go 4, for it to be a sweep by either team, it's plus 580. And for me, I just feel like that's such a
Yeah.
really rough price to back either team to win
Yeah.
4 straight at under 6-1. But I
Yeah.
digressed. I know Josh mentioned he has a lot of bets for the Thursday night football game. So do you want to kick that off? Travis Kelce is playing, but I don't
Yeah.
know how healthy he is. I have a friend that has been texting me
Decoy
all
duty.
week. He has been texting me all week about how we should hammer Travis Kelce unders. And my only objection against that is that it's 65.5 now. It opened around like 72.5. And I just hate betting lines that you missed it by a lot. Like 7
Yeah.
yards for a line is a
7 yards is a
lot.
good amount.
Yeah.
And how scary is it taking under with him against the Broncos? Historically bad defense. What's interesting is it was a similar situation. Well, it's not interesting because the Monday night game was absolute booty. But that, like, what's similar about that
Not
game?
if you bet on
Jacoby Myers
Dontavian Wicks.
Dontavian Wicks. What a call! Bailed
What
out
a
in the
call.
4th with a like
Wha
13-yard reception.
What a call. That was my favorite bet of the entire year because I
Brian
talked
hits
about
me
it
up
for
and
so long.
he's like, tell me I'm crazy for wanting to bet Dontavian Wicks over 7.5 receiving yards. And I go, it's fine. I'm just saying you sound thirsty as hell trying to bet on this game that no one wants to bet on because you're looking
Yeah.
at Dontavian Wicks. But
Dontavian Wicks
the
came in the clutch.
the similarity between this game and last week is I think Devontae Adams was a bit decoy-ish. Like they got him involved at one point on like 2 straight drives, and that was kind of his usage for the whole game.
Yep.
Before that, it was decoy city, and he was single covered on a lot of them. Jacoby Myers is good. He's a very good second receiver, especially on the outside.
Yeah, he is.
And he was able to get open a couple times. Got the tutty. Got well over the like low total yardage for him. I'm using that logic here for Rashee Rice and saying like he's going to get a ton of targets. He's going to continue to get better in the offense as a rook. This is their next wide receiver, if you will, for Patrick Mahomes for a little bit, unless they find, they make it a priority to get another one next year in some way. But I think he's progressing nicely. And for what he is already, he's already trusted in the red zone, which I think is a really big indication of being trusted by Mahomes overall. So 30.5 receiving yards. Let me make sure. God damn it. I forgot to double check once again. At least Will's not here to fucking rip into me. Receiving yards for
stale lines, bro.
Yeah, 32.5. It moved up 2 yards. Still very worth it. Don't feel bad about it. Because I'm also playing a ladder with him at like 40, 50, 60, 70.
Yeah, I like that. I think
Yeah.
it's funny you
70
mentioned.
70 gets you a nice jump, by the way, just to finish the point. Like 40 is nice, like plus 135. 50 is nice at 2-1 in that range. It's like almost 4-1 for him to get 60. But once you get to the 70s, when you get to like plus 650, that takes a nice jump. So
Yeah,
that's why I made sure to get up to there.
I think it's interesting you brought up Rice because I actually, this is going to be my old man yelling at clouds take of the day, but DraftKings completely changed their same game parlay builder where you used to be able to take all unders and they just completely took that away. Like you used to be able to buy like all overs or unders.
Right.
And this is a perfect situation where I would have loved to take a Travis Kelsey, say under 79.5 parlay with a Rice 20 plus,
Mm,
you know what I mean? So, or like a Pacheco 50 rushing, like
Yeah.
something like that. But the fact that it kind of sucks that we said it yesterday, books can kind of do whatever they want in terms of that, where, you know, I would love to take an all under for Kelsey and pair it with like a correlated leg, but you just can't do that anymore, which pisses me off.
yeah, it's funny because Cinematic Drive just brought it up in the chat and then you said it like literally 1 second later.
Oh yeah, so much shit. It's true
Yeah,
though. Like it would have been it would have been my, like, I rarely have two plays in a game, and I would have totally made a second play in this game if I was
yeah.
able to do that. And it just really is kind of unfortunate that you can't do that anymore.
You what might be interesting is if you take an under on Kelsey and parlay it with Mahomes over passing yards. That's really ballsy, obviously,
Yeah,
but that would probably nicely correlated negatively for you to get some better juice if they let
yeah.
you do it. So
Even on
yeah,
the no longer trusted BetMGM, I checked their same game parlay thing too. They did the same thing. They use the same builder as DraftKings, the same software, like whatever you want to call it.
mhm,
And it's all it is all overs or like
yeah,
weighs the ladder. You can no longer, so there's no books that I know of that you can do that where you can parlay all unders, which is really frustrating.
yeah, 100%.
Uh, so Brad, do you have anything locked in for this game? Because I
I
have one
do.
play and that's it. But what do
I
you
do.
have?
It's a parlay. It's two different games. I took Pacheco 60 plus rushing yards as leg one. They're playing against a bottom 10 defense. I don't think that needs to be explained too much. He's going to get the ball, especially with the weather. The second leg of that is CJ Donaldson, the running back from West Virginia versus Houston tonight to get 70 plus. It plays minus 121. If you must know, I don't rate Houston very high. Houston 61st in defensive success rate against the run. They are 102nd EPA per play. That's extra points added per play against the run on defense. And pretty much that's where Houston's been seeing West Virginia's been seeing all their success. He has a 38% usage rate, but it goes up to like an 80% snap share on running plays. So that's my play. I'll
Okay.
say it again for anybody. CJ Donaldson 70 plus, Pacheco 60 plus, minus 121.
I like that. I
Yeah,
think it's a fun one. I actually took a contrarian route here because I do think that a lot of people, I know Josh too. I almost bet both with Jerick McKinnon over receiving yards, but I actually went. This is the second time I'm playing it. I went with Isaiah Pacheco receiving yards. I think it's 11.5.
yeah,
It's one of those things where Patrick Mahomes actually hates checking the ball down. Every time he does, it looks like it's painful for him. It looks like he's like putting needles in his eyes. But everyone's talking about how there's strong winds tonight. But if you look at the receiving backs against uh, the, the the Broncos, it is absolutely unreal to even see the stats. I have them up here, but yeah, like Josh Jacobs, 23 yards, Antonio Gibson, 44 yards, Robinson had 42, Moser at 60, Chain 30, Herbert had 17. So everyone's gone over this line, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I think there's plenty of room in a game like this for Pacheco and for McKinnon to get the receiving yards. Pacheco has 13 targets on the year. He's gone over this in 3 of the 5 games, but he has a catch of 9 or more in 4 of the 5 games. So I bet his over 11.5 and his over 8.5 longest catch, because we saw it against the Jets game. He gets an open space on those little flat routes. He can just barrel down, and you had that 133-yard catch he had. So
yeah.
in my head, it goes just like that in the first quarter. A little sneak route, or in the flat for him
Mhm.
just to like run train.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with his over on receiving yards. I, I'm scared to take it over on Patrick Mahomes passing yards. It's just like this defense is so easy. Like, I mean, he barely got over this number against the Bears, and it was the same concept. Like, your fear of any of this stuff is like the game is over by the third quarter. But I think it will be a little bit closer than you might think. I do think. Actually, I'm now talking myself more into passing yards because I do think it's gonna be a little bit closer than you think. I think Mahomes is gonna have to win the game still in like the second half. Like, it's not gonna be over by that point. So just feels like I would never take lay the 10.5. Let me put, or 11 where it's at now. like ever on a short week with the Chiefs in this game. Russell Wilson came back and covered last year, even though, you know, the Broncos don't beat this team. Like, it doesn't mean that they don't cover, you know, so.
Yeah.
They'll somehow like find a way to lose to like somehow backdoor cover this game. I feel like that's how it always works with the
or they're
Chiefs.
like, or they score first and, you know, something like that. Like some first touchdown stuff for a Bronco might be in play, or maybe like Broncos first half even might be something I look at, because I think that they do come out slow, to be honest. So like the Broncos or the Chiefs, that is.
Someone mentioned there's a FanDuel boost. Wilson to get 200 passing yards, boosted from -165 to +100. And they did mention the exact point I was going to bring up, that the Chiefs do have a dominant offense in terms of possession. In the days of like maybe 2 years ago, I feel like with the Tyreek Hill, like even Juju Smith-Schuster when he was at the prime, they used to have all these chunk plays. This year, they really have been more possession dominant, shorter, more, you know, intermediate plays, except for those Pacheco runs or screens where he just, you know, makes one guy miss and runs like he's trying to, like, I don't even know. He runs harder than I think I've ever seen anyone run with the high knees. But outside of him in this defense, but in a game like today, you might see the Broncos have more possessions because there might be more chunk plays to be had against this defense that is just god awful. It has been so bad to watch the Broncos defense this year.
So I'm actually starting to like receptions for Rashee Rice a bit more as we're talking to be honest, because I think he's still at 2.5. You can get that.
You see how high his drop rate was?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty high. I just not talking off your play.
No.
Just made me laugh.
No, send it my way. I didn't see it. Like, what's it at?
It's like 38, 32% or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than betting a guy for over in yards and watching him drop a pass. That was me with Zay Flowers on Sunday. He still got there, but like the first drive of the game, he had a wide open play that was going to go for like 30 yards, and he just dropped it. And I immediately gave up in the play. I was like, well, that's a loss. Like, at least I can knock it out early. And my friend's like, dude, it's a first drive. I was like, yeah, but you drop a 40-yard bomb.
Yeah,
you basically just shot myself in the heart. But yeah,
or you make up for it, or you just think about it like they got to make up for it.
No, then the next play, it was another missed deep ball. So I just gave up twice in one drive. But someone asked about Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I'll say this. We talk about the backdoor covers. This still have a lot of props for the Broncos side of things. I almost want to just bet it live because we talk about the backdoor covers. If they're down, I feel like the Chiefs defense has been pretty solid this year, but they always seem to go into this prevent shell and find a way for teams to cover. I don't know what it is, but it always seems to happen that way. So I do think there is some room for guys like Jerry Jeudy or Sutton to get their targets.
4.5 receptions. Plus
for
Jeudy.
Yeah. Yeah, his receiving line is like the low 50s. I think like 51.5. I gave it a look because if you assume that Wilson gets anything going late in the game, I mean, Jeudy is the guy to kind of move the ball, move the change.
Yeah. I got to roll. I hate to do that.
Let me give my sleeper play.
Give your sleeper play. Give your sleeper play. We can head out.
All right, lovers. Here's my sleeper play. It's Bradley Thomas on ice, Mr. Hockey Aficionado. This is my first year capping hockey in public. So we are 2-0 so far with a 2-unit win and a plus money win, plus 165.
Oh, and you're staying. You keep going. You're not just going to call it 2-0, 100%. That's what I would do.
No, I'm doing it all season. Win, lose, and draw. For the sleeper, I'm going Johnny Hockey. That's Blue Jackets versus Flyers, over 2.5 shots on goal. Mika Zibanejad for the Rangers, at least 1 point. Matthew Tkachuk, baby, over 3.5 shots on goal.
He's cheering before the play even starts. He's getting these the pronunciations. All right.
$25 to $94. You heard it here first. I'll post it in my channel as well.
I love it. I appreciate you guys joining in. I appreciate everyone in the chat. It's actually the chat's been more interactive this week, which has been awesome.
Yeah,
it's
been great.
Really helping us out, getting some ideas. So we appreciate Brad and Josh. And as always, we appreciate our sponsors, Pickett Sports and Sleeper Picks. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at same time, noon Eastern.